Okay, so we're going to start today's lesson, and today we are going to design a flyer from scratch live. That's what's on today's program. So we're going to apply everything which we have learned so far and design an actual flyer, social media flyer using Photoshop. Okay, so let me share my screen.
Meaning, meaning we'll be doing the flyer from scratch.
Yes, we're doing the flyer from scratch. We'll be doing the flyer from scratch. Okay, so we'll be reproducing this flyer right here. So for this image here, I've already sent it in the Google Drive link. Let me just resend the Google Drive link again. Okay, this is the Google Drive link in the chat. So this is the image we'll be working with. The image of this girl here. So I'll send a link to the Google Drive on the chat. The same link as before. And our goal today is we'll be reproducing this flyer here. This flyer here. And so this flyer applies all the principles we've done so far. It applies color, it applies gradients. This is a gradient, a subtle gradient here. It applies text, it applies shapes, it applies shadows, it applies filters, it applies masking. This flyer applies everything we should learn so far. So I want to show you how you can use everything we've learned so far in order to design a professional looking flyer. So the first thing we do is we create our canvas. We create our canvas by going to File, File, New. So we name our file, let's just say cleaning service flyer. We'll set our width to 1080 and our height to 1080 pixels. Width 1080, height 1080, and press on the create button. So going to create this. So our canvas has been created. Now the next thing we want to do now is if you have downloaded your image, we're going to upload this image here in Photoshop and remove the background from the image. So if you have downloaded this image, it should be found somewhere in your downloads folder. My own image should be found. This is my own image. So I'm simply going to drag it and drop it up here so it opens as a new file. So I dropped it in an empty space up here so it opens as a new file. This is my image here. This is my image. And what we want to do now is we want to remove the background from this image. So by that, we'll come on our tools here on the left sidebar. Our tools, we'll select this one here, this tool here, click the quick selection tool by clicking on it once. And this option here will appear. Click on select subject. So Photoshop is loading, it's trying to select the subject.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
asking
surprised.
me.
It's like people are not really showing up this time.
Yeah, we are started already. We started already.
Okay.
So we said today we'll be designing a flyer from scratch. To apply all everything which we've learned so far, I will be designing this flyer from scratch, following everything we've learned so far. We've created our canvas already by going on file, selecting new, putting our size, the width 1080 and the height 1080 pixels. Created this canvas. And this image here, I've provided the link to this image in the chat. The link to this image is found in the chat in the Google Drive. So click on this link here, it will bring you to the Google Drive where you can find this image which we are using for this design. So once you download the image, you can simply drag it and drop it into Photoshop, into a new document in Photoshop to open the image in Photoshop. So the next thing we want to do from here, next we want to do from here is to remove the background from the image. And by do that, you click here on the quick selection tool and come and click on select subject. Photoshop will load for a while and you will see this matching hands across our subject, which is the main focus on this image. And now we're going to use this same quick selection tool to refine the selection. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit and check for these areas where the selection wasn't really the best. So you can control your brush size by coming up here, clicking on this drop down here, and you can control your brush size. My brush size right now is set to 3 pixels. So for example, so you see in this area like this pink area is not going to be part of the final image like this. So that's what Photoshop does. It automatically selects the subject and remove the background from the subject as you can see here. But you see there are errors sometimes like here. This is not part of the background. This is just the brush here. So I have to correct this area. So I am going to click. This is the plus. This is the plus which is being selected. Different selection tool. There are different options. The plus and negative. So I select the plus and I came here and I click like this to wipe it off. So the plus pushes it outside, right? While the negative pushes it inside. So I'm using the plus to push it outside like this. So I'm going to go around my selection. I can even come inside here and to further refine my selection, I need to use a negative because I want to remove this area. That's why I'm using negative. Further refine the selection. So I'm scrolling around the edges and I'm checking for areas of imperfection. Okay, it's negative. Push it a little bit inside again. So I'm scrolling down, checking for areas of imperfections. Around the edges of the subject. So you can see that Photoshop already did a very great job at selecting our subject. So from here, the next thing we're going to do is come up here and click on the select and mask button. Click on select and mask button. And this panel here is going to appear. This panel here is going to appear. So you make sure you're on your view is set to onion skin and your transparency is set to 100 for it to look exactly like mine. So that is our selection. So we can refine it a little bit more. So there's some areas like of pink here and there. So if your Photoshop has this option, you can click on this brush here and come and click on refine here. And Photoshop is also going to automatically try to adjust the hair of your subject. But this might not always be the best option as it will depend on the image which you have at hand. Sometimes it might actually even spoil the image. But let's just make it simple. Let's not use that. Let's use our original image as it was. And so we're going to try to refine our selection. So to cancel any effect on Photoshop, all you simply do is press on the Control Z button. It cancels any effect. It undoes the effect. So I simply press Control Z to undo the refine hair effect which I had put on the image. So if I come now on my sidebar here, I can refine the edges of my selection. For example, with the smooth, if I zoom in, you will see the effect of the smooth on the edge. So for every effect as you're adding, you can check out how it actually affects your image. I don't want to fade on my selection, so going to destroy my image. And check on contrast. This is how contrast affects the image becomes way too sharp. And I don't want it to be that sharp. So my contrast is going to be set to 2%. And let it decontaminate colors. Click on it and see how it affects the image. Okay, the contaminate actually enhances this image, but I'm going to reduce the amount and set it to about 82% like this. And I think this is okay for me. And I'm going to press on OK. No, first check the output here, drop down and select new layer with layer mask and now click on OK. So this is now my new selection here. And the background has successfully been removed. Now I want to carry this image here and bring it here to my canvas. This is our image here. So I can do that by clicking on the move tool here and when I click on the image and dragging it and dropping it on this canvas. Let me do it again. So I come here I click on the image, I drag it, and I move it upwards to the tab where our canvas was. So I just move down. You see, my mouse has a rectangle on it to show that I'm actually carrying something. This whole while my hand is still maintained on the left click button. So when I release my hand from the left click button, you will see my image appear. Another way you can also do it is, let me delete this, is by coming here, clicking on the image, and pressing Ctrl C to copy the image, and coming back on your canvas and pressing Ctrl V to paste the image. So that's another way you could do it. So I'm going to resize now my image by coming to this anchor point, clicking and dragging to resize my image. I can reposition it as well. So this is how it looks like. So I've already done a major part of the design, which is by removing the background from the image and adding it here. So next thing we want to do now is our background. I notice on this background there is a gradient which has been applied. The color here is lighter than the color here down here. Reason being there is a gradient with an angle of about 60 degrees like this. That goes from down here to up here with a darker blue to a brighter blue up here. So I'm going to replicate that in the go back. And how I like doing this, I'll first of all select my background here so the layout appear above this background. I like doing this by coming to my shape tool here. We're clicking on selecting the rectangle tool and coming on my canvas and drawing a rectangle or a square. In this case, a square like this behind my canvas on my canvas. So that this is a layer that has appeared here just below the layer of this image. If the layer was here, it would be above the image, and you want the image again, so you have to drag it down because you want this to act as the background like this. So your layer for the rectangle should be below your layer for a lady for it to appear like this. So now this is not a gradient. We want our background to be in the form of a gradient. We want our background to be in the form of a gradient. So how do we do that? So we're going to come here to this field here in the properties. If you can't find these properties here, go to Windows and select properties here. It's going to appear. So in the properties panel here, there is fill and the stroke. The fill is this inner color that we see. So I'm going to click on this fill, and click on this icon here. This icon here represents the gradient. Click on here, represents the gradient. So now I can see that a gradient has been applied on this rectangle, going from the bottom to the top, black to white. However, I want my gradient to be like this, right? To have like a 60 degrees angle like this and be blue of color. So click on my, go back to my fill, and I'm going to change this color. I can change the angle here by by coming here to this circle here, clicking on this line and dragging it to that angle that I want. So this is about the angle which has been used. Yes, it's about the same. So I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color by this one here is the black and this is the white color. So I click on this color here, double click on it. So now I can select my color here. I can come here and control and bring it to the blue color here. And now make it have a darker color like this. Also, okay. There you have it. And now I need to change this white color as well by double clicking on it, dragging it with this vertical column up to the blue and putting it a slightly brighter color like this. and selecting OK. So you can see the color is not exactly the same. Our one is a bit thicker. So I'm going to adjust it a little bit again. Like clicking on this shape here, coming here, clicking here again. Let's make it a little bit lighter.
Um,
Yes,
last class we talked of last class I think you mentioned the color picker where you could just choose a color and come and put it in a
yes,
design one.
yes,
Can't you use something like
yes, we can use that. But the reason why I've not used that is because, unlike me, you don't have this flyer with you. So I already have this flyer here, and I can simply use the color picker tool, for example, like this. This is my color picker tool. I click here and I'll get the color. This is the color here. But then click here, I'll get the color code, which is here. So I can just copy like this, pressing Control C, coming back here, press OK. Coming back here, clicking on my selecting the move tool, clicking on my shape, coming to the fill, creating, then click on the black here and paste that color code which I copied the other way. So here you have it. Selecting OK. So I can do that. I can do this like this, but you don't have this image as well. That's why I was going the normal way, like the basic way.
okay.
Or to make it faster, you can just simply see the color. I'm going to show you the color code. I'm just going to apply it. So I'm going to use the color picker tool here. Click here to get the color on this side of the screen. Double click here. So this is the color code. Let me paste it in the chat. This is the deeper blue. Let me just write deeper blue. And then the second color, same process. I'll now go on this extreme end here. Click here to get the second color. Highlight it, Control C. Also, outer blue. These are the color codes which I've sent in the chat. So let's go back to our design here. So this is our rectangle. Select the move tool, click on the rectangle, click on the fill here on the properties panel. So double click on the blue color here. So we're going to just simply apply the color code which we pasted, and that was 246A9E for the deeper blue, 246A9E. Press OK. For the lighter blue, double click here and apply those 02A2C2. 02A2C2 and press OK. So our gradient has been applied, but it's in the wrong direction. We want our gradient to be in this direction, in this diagonal direction. So I can adjust it like this. And when I'm done, I can simply click anywhere on my screen. So there you have it. Our gradient background has been created. Our gradient background has been created. So in order to not disturb this layer when we are doing things, for example, I might be trying to move something and I click on the background and now I'll just move it. In order to avoid that, let me remove the fill. There's a fill on there. It's an outline. So I'm going to set the stroke to nothing. So there should be no stroke on my background on my rectangle. So I set the stroke color to nothing. So in order to avoid displacing unwantedly my background, once I put it on my canvas, I can simply come on my layers here and click on this lock icon here to lock it. So now whatever I do, I cannot displace this background again because it has been locked. So now I've added our subject and we've done our background. So what is the next thing on our list? Next on our list, we're going to add this other shape here above, this white shape here. And this white shape here is simply a rectangle. Simply a rectangle. And this rectangle you can see is above the layer of this lady. So she appears to be behind this rectangle. So you can select this layer. So the next layer I create is going to be above this one. So I come now on my shapes here. I right click and select the rectangle tool and come in at the edge here and draw my rectangle like this. So your rectangle can extend the canvas because Photoshop only shows the parts which appear in the canvas. So even if it extends the canvas like this, there is no issue. You need to remove the stroke. I click on the stroke and pressing this first icon here to remove the stroke. And I'm going to set the color to white. But I'm not going to set it to be extreme white. So to set the color, I click on the fill, I click on this small box here, and the color panel appears. And I'm going to drag it right up here, but I'm not going to drag it at the extreme end for it to be completely white. I want it to have a slightly blue tint. So when you're designing, in order to make your design look better, avoid using absolute white color or absolute black. So your design should always, if you're using black, it should be something here which is lighter. It's a lighter black or something around the sides here. You should have it to be a lighter or a bluer, or in this case, since this is blue, a bluer white. It makes your design look better than to use an absolute white. So I'm going to set it like this. So it is white but with a slightly bluish tint and press on OK. So this is it. And now I'm going to now adjust because if you notice on this design here, there is a radius here, a circular radius at the edge, and since I'm using Photoshop 2025, I can simply do that by clicking on these circles here and dragging. When I click on these circles and I drag, it creates this edge like this. But if you're not on Photoshop 2025, you click on your circle on your rectangle, you can go on your properties panel, and if you scroll down, you see this option here. So here I can put the radius at the borders. So I'm going to unlink them by clicking on this thing to unlink the different borders, different edges. So now I can put a radius here, a border radius of, let's just say 20 pixels, and here 20 as well. So if you notice now on my image, on my rectangle, see there is a border. But my rectangle extends a little bit over the canvas. I want my rectangle to exactly fit on this canvas. So I can maintain my hand on the shift key and come on this anchor point here and click and drag it. So it should just match the edge of my canvas. Same thing with the bottom. You can maintain my hand on the shift key, click on anchor point and drag it up for it to match. Same thing here. Maintain my hand on shift key, click on the anchor point and drag it so it matches the edge, exactly at the edge, like this. So let me set it to, let's set to 30 pixels. I set here to 30 pixels as well. You press enter. So if you notice now, there is a 30 pixels border radius on both top ends of my rectangle. So our design is taking shape. We already have the lady. When you're moving any object in Photoshop, notice that some pink lines appear. These pink lines are to help you position your image on your canvas. So this, for example, when I'm moving it here, when I come at the center, this pink line appear to show me this is the center of the canvas. So I know this is center, I can simply position it here like this. So this is the center. So at this point, so I've already done most of the work. So the work has been done. So now I have to add now some text. Also add our caption, our subheading, and our body together with our services. So this design was made in such a way that once the user sees this design, the first thing he notices is this, which is the caption or the heading. No time to clean. No time to clean. So this is yes.
Mr. Bryce, please, on the rectangle you've put, it seems like the right, from my view, the right part is more bent than the left part.
This right, but it's not bent on the left part.
Yeah.
So when you can verify it, if I click on my rectangle, come on my properties and drop down, you can see that here is 30 pixels and here is 30 pixels.
Ah, okay. But why didn't you use the tool on the one that this tool that bends it on the rectangle as it's been for?
Which tool which concept? You mean this small circles which have appeared here?
Yeah.
I first did it by using the circles and then I did it by using this.
Okay. Okay, you can go on.
Okay. So at this point now, we want to now add our text, which is an integral part of the design. So it's design are made up of different things. Made up of typography, which is the text, made up of colors, made up of images, and made up of alignment of composition, right? So you put everything together. So at this point now, we put our background with a color, we put our image. So we put it done like we put it check two boxes. Now once we move into the text, what are we going to use as text? How are we going to communicate with this guy? What is we want to communicate? So this flyer is for a cleaning service or water cleaning services. And to tell the truth, a heading which communicates that. So by saying no time to clean, who are those who usually hire cleaning services? People hire cleaning services is because they want somebody to clean for them, mostly because either they don't have time to clean, mostly it's because they don't have time to clean. That's why they hire somebody. So, for example, in a company, the CEO is already occupied with his own tax, cannot complete his own tax and still come on the bill they want to be cleaning. So he doesn't have that time. If it's in a home, for example, you might be busy or maybe you work all day. So these are the kind of people who need clean services, people who don't have time to do it themselves. Or maybe they're too lazy to do it themselves, but mostly it's about time. So that's what this caption communicates, no time to clean. So your caption should relate to what you're designing for. Because this is what makes it easier to stop. It's not just about having a beautiful design, but your text should also communicate the information. The topic is about visual communication. Visual communication. So in the end, if your file does not communicate to the intended user, to whom this file is intended for, it does not communicate to that person, then no matter how beautiful the design was, it's just useless. So I'm going to proceed to add our caption here. And we're going to do that. We use a text tool. In the text tool, once, come we click on our screen. We're going to click on our screen here, like this. Once this text appears, and then we start typing. Open capital. Okay. Sentence page. I'm highlighting the person control A. So no time to clean. No time to clean. This is our text. Now, typography matters. Now, which font are we going to use? The font we should choose in that design is the Montserrat font. This is the Montserrat font. And I need to show you where you can get the Montserrat font. You can get it by going to your browser and searching for Dafont, DAFONT.com. This is the site. Here, we find this site. Let's see. Montse Montserrat. I don't know if it's found on this site, but let's see. Okay, it's not found on this site. Anyways, you can go and type this Google Fonts. Google Fonts. Google Fonts. Press enter. This will appear. This is the Montserrat font, which they didn't actually already featured in Google. It's a very popular font which is widely used in design. It's not the only font though, but this is the font which was used in that design. You're not obliged to use these fonts, but I'm just going to show you how you can get it if you want to use the same font. So I'm going to click on this Montserrat here immediately. And it's going to bring me to this page, and you can simply press on this icon here, get the font, and click on the download. It will take a while to download. However, there are plenty of other fonts which come automatically with Photoshop. So if you click on your fonts here, you see a lot of them. When typing, right, so they highlight your text, and come at this corner here of your screen where you see this area here, and drop it down, you see a lot of different fonts which come automatically with Photoshop. However, you're not limited to this font. You can download more fonts on the internet. I want to show you how you can do that. There are plenty of sites such as dafont.com, 1001 font. I'll give you some of these sites later on. Let me check the download completed. Okay, might take a while to download. So you can use a different font. Okay, let's just use a font that I think everybody should have. Kind of a font which I think everyone should have. I'm going to use is the Franklin. boutique heavy. Everybody should have this font. Look like clean, but clean. So what our text now? I want to change the color. You can simply highlight the text like this, just like you do on Word, or press Control A to highlight it. Click on this color here or here on your property panel. And click on it. And we're going to set it to have the same color as this our rectangle which we created down here. So once this box appears here, instead of trying to set the color again, trying to find the exact match, you can simply come here and click on this rectangle here. When I click here, see the color has automatically been matched. I can just press OK. I can select my move tool in order to reposition it like this. I think I want to drop it a little bit down or reduce the size again a little bit. So we've added our first text. Add another text again. Maybe select the text tool again from here. Add it. And this time the text was no worries. No worries. And the size of this text was smaller. You press Control A to highlight it and reduce the size to let's say 40. Okay, this call is going to expire in 15 minutes, and once it expires, I'm going to create a new link and I'm going to send to the WhatsApp group. If you click again to rejoin. Okay, are the fonts? Yes, the fonts are free. Once Google fonts are free fonts. Even the other side which I sent. So you simply type Google font, we can get the Montserrat font. And there are other sites as well which can get plenty of other fonts. Plenty of other fonts. We're going to look more into how you can get fonts. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me clearly now? Okay. And look at this design here. The color was set to yellow. Yellow. So normally we can just use our color picker tool here and come and select this color here, like this, to put the color. But since you don't have this design, we're going to try and guess it manually. So this is my text. So I'm going to click on the text tool here, click on the text and Control A to highlight it. And I'm going to click on this white color here and try to look for that yellow color. So it looks something like this. So once you look and you find that the color is what you're looking for, then simply press OK. But I'm going to give you the color code so you don't have to do it. I'm just going to show you how you would have done without it. But with it, you simply use your color picker tool, which is here on your tools panel. This is it. This is the color picker tool. Click on the color picker tool. Come and click on the color. So the color is going to automatically be selected here. So now come and double click here. And this is the color code. You can copy it. Control C. Let me send it to you in the chat. into yellow. So to apply this color code on our cleaning flyer, we need to select the type tool, sorry, click on the image, highlight it, clicking on the color here, and pasting that color code which you copied from the other image and pressing OK to apply it like this. So what is lacking now? This question mark here, this arrow. So I'm going to create a new text here and click here on the screen and now put our question mark. So question mark. Select the move tool and resize it. If you're using an older version of Photoshop, for example, Photoshop 2020, in order to resize an element, you click on the element and then press Ctrl T on your keyboard. If you're using an older version of Photoshop, like for example, Photoshop 2020, you click on the element once, you move to, then you press Ctrl T. Then these anchor points are going to appear, which you can now use to resize your image. Okay, so what next? So this portion here, of this box, we offer professional cleaning services for home purposes and special events. So I'm going to write it, select our text tool again. First one is we offer. We offer. This text is too big, so I'm going to change the font here. I'm not going to use Franklin Gothic Heavy again. I'm going to use another font. The Franklin Gothic Medium. And I'm going to reduce the size to 14. No, reduce it to 12. Select the move tool and now we can displace it like this. So you can create another text again here, and then what here, what did we have? Professional cleaning services. So you are going to type Control A and type professional. Enter to break it down. Cleaning. Enter again to break it down. Now services. So I press Control A to highlight it and change the alignment to left. I'm going to increase the size as well to 16. I am going to go on my window here and select the character, click on character. When you click on character, this should appear, this A should appear. And on this A, I can control the line spacing by the line height, the spacing between this text. And I want to reduce it a little bit. I want to use like 14, like this. And I also want to change the color to this same yellow here. So there you have it. We have professional cleaning services. Okay, so this course is going to be expiring soon. And as I said, once it expires, we're going to create a new link and send it to the group to continue. So here we are. We've added the second text. Now add this text here. So to click again our text tool. And this time I'm going to create a text box. A text box, small text box here like this. We're going to reduce this size to 12 again. We're going to come on this character panel, which I told you to open before, by going on window and selecting character and reducing the line spacing, the line height, right, to 11. I'm going to reduce this text size to 11 points and reduce the line height to 10. So what was the text here again? It was for homes, offices, and special events. But I have to reduce this further again. I'm going to reduce it to 10 and reduce the line height to 9. I'm going to click on the color picker tool here and click on this white here. Okay, we'll just click on the text. Use the text tool to click on the text, Control A to highlight it, and then now we're going to click on the color, yellow, and then now come and click on this white background here to change the text to white and click on OK. We're going to now edit this text and change it was for homes, offices, and special events. So we're going to resize this box as well because it doesn't fit. Like this. Select our move tool and position this. So, but this text looks bigger than on our original image. Yes, it looks bigger. Even this image looks bigger. This image occupied just about the image looks bigger. So we're going to reduce the image again. So if you're, as I said, if you're using Photoshop 2020, click on the image and press Ctrl T for you to be able to resize it. When you press Ctrl T, that's when this anchor points are going to appear. So you can now click here on anchor point and drag it down to reduce it like this. So I'm trying to center the image like that. And now I want to move this text upwards. So I'm going to highlight it like this and drag all of them upwards. And drag all of them upwards. So let's see, our text seems a little bit bigger here. So I'm going to reduce it again. Let's press Ctrl A, set the size to 11. Click on the text tool. This is when the move tool to select this one. Click on the text tool. Click on this text here, Control E, and I'm reducing this size to. I want to manually reduce it to 15. Then I'll press enter. Then come here and reduce the character spacing to. Okay, I'm going to manually change it and wipe this one, put 3 for it to be 13 and press enter. Okay, now it's at 13. I'm going to select my text tool again, click on this text here, Control A, and set the text to 9 pixels. So now I can also move it upwards. And resize my text box like this. So now it looks a little bit more like this. It looks a bit more like it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our rectangle here, a rectangle here, down here. Now coming to the rectangle, clicking on the rectangle tool, clicking on it, and coming here, click once and drag. Okay, so we'll continue from where we stopped. Let me share my screen. Brad, beg, beg un peu la voix, beg. Okay, so let's continue from where we stopped. Is everybody seeing my screen? Okay, so you can continue. Okay, so we're at the level of drawing this box. Click on the rectangle tool here and come and draw our rectangle here, just like we showed you. So just like we've done before. And on the properties, I can click on the field here and click on this color here, picker tool. And rather than looking for that yellow color again, I can simply come now and click on this yellow that's already on my screen and click on OK. It's going to set it to the same yellow. And if you notice on this design here, this box has some slight border edges here. So we do the same on our own. And you can do that by scrolling down your properties panel here. So you can add your border radius here. Just set it. So we're going to link it. So linking it here, so any number makes that any number which I put on any of these boxes is going to apply to all the boxes that this linking does. So I'm going to set it to like 12 pixels and I press enter. Okay, it was no links. Let me link it. And set it to 12 and press enter. Let me just put everywhere. Massive. Here we go. Okay. Kindly apply it. Let me just unlock it and do it manually. So set everything to 12 here. If you're using an older version of Photoshop, that's how you're going to go about it. And set everything to 12 and press on enter. And you click on the move tool, you can see now that slight border has been applied. And now at our text was book us now. This here is called the call to action. This was what? This was the heading. The heading. This was the subtitle. Yeah, the subheading. This was the body. This is the call to action. Okay, these are all elements of the design, like of typography in the design, right? And this all constitutes what we call visual hierarchy in the design, which guides the user as to what he's supposed to see now and supposed to see next. So ultimately, what you want the person to do once he sees this flyer is first of all to know what it's about, to identify the problem. The problem is the person should be looking for cleaning services, no time to clean. And okay, this is looking for cleaning services. Identify this and knows that this is a cleaning service. And then you speak more about yourself. What do we actually do? We offer professional cleaning services for home offices or special events. So people who are looking for cleaning services, they're either looking for what for to clean their homes, clean offices, or for an event. These are the only three reasons why they might be looking for professional cleaning service. So this one, once he sees this, he's like, okay, these people can actually help me. Do I need somebody to clean my home? So what the next thing he has to do now is to book. So you see how visual hierarchy guides the user through the design. Not just about having a beautiful design, but having a design that works. So now down here now we will have the number. The numbers were hidden for privacy reasons. So down here we have the numbers. So when it says book us now, the next question is how do I book them? You have the numbers. So you can call these numbers to book them. You can also have other things like the email address or the website where they can find them. So now this other panel here is just to provide more information. More information. Services, standard cleaning, deep cleaning, moving move out. It's just more information which the user might ultimately need if he's interested. So look at this text now, book us now. So we come now, select our text tool and click and type book us now. Book us now. This is the title case. Title case means the first letter of each word is capitalized. We're going to highlight it by pressing Ctrl A. I'm going to reduce this size to about 12. That is too big, to about 10. Yes, I'm going to change it. Okay, to about 10. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color from white to this dark blue here by clicking just here. Changes. Okay, so you can come now, select your move tool. You can zoom in by pressing the Alt key and rolling your mouse forward. If you have a mouse, if you don't have a mouse, you can press Control plus on your keyboard. If you don't have Control plus on your keyboard, you can simply press this zoom tool here. So we're going to resize this like this. We also increase the size of our rectangle if it's too small by clicking on it, or press the Shift key and come on this anchor point and drag it. The reason why I'm pressing the Shift key is there are two ways of resizing. The first way is when you resize, it resizes the without the Shift key. Without the Shift key, it resizes the entire box, right? But with the Shift key, it resizes. When you maintain on the Shift key and you resize, it resizes just in that direction. You see, now it's with the Shift key, just in that direction. Now without the Shift key, the whole box is being resized. That's the difference. So to undo everything, I'll press Ctrl C, Ctrl C, Ctrl C to undo everything. So there you have it. This looks kind of big in my opinion. So I'm going to click on this text here and press maintain my hand on Shift key And so I'm just going to click and highlight both of them like this. Then I'm going to come at this anchor point here and simply drag a little bit down in order to resize it like this. So padding in the design is very important. Padding is simply this space between one element and the other. So it's
So this by choosing the two layers, it permits you to
resize both of them at once.
both of them at once.
Yes. So I can simply select my move tool here, click on my canvas like this and drag like this. And you need to select everything which is between this portion, right? See,
Okay.
as I was dragging, see as a rectangle is being formed, right? And everything this rectangle touches is going to be part of my selection. And you can also verify this on your layers. Are you seeing my layers? These two items have now been highlighted on my layers. So
Yes.
now, if I was using an older version of control of Photoshop, I'll press Control T to resize them. But on later versions, the anchor points appear automatically. So I can just come and click now and resize, decrease, or decrease the size like this. Both of them. So when I'm done, I simply come and click back on my move tool here, putting on my screen, and that is that. So there you have it.
Okay.
So it's at this point, we're almost there, we're almost getting there. So now we have this shape here to add this text here, and yes, this shape, these two here are shapes. These are circles. These are shapes. This text, and this is also a shape right here. This here is also a shape. Yeah, these are icons, and I remember I told you you can get icons from flaticon.com. You can get icons from there. I always get my icons from flaticon.com. So we are getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. What are we like? What are we going to do next? I think we're going to do this transparent box here. So for this transparent box here, we're simply going to click on the rectangle tool here, drag like this one, set our color to white, clicking here, and setting our color to right here. Okay. We'll set our color to white. We're going to drag on these anchor points here to add some border radius at the corners like this. We're going to press on maintain our hand on shift and drag this anchor point here in order to increase the length a little bit. And in order to create that effect which we saw here, it says transparent. To do that, we are simply going to click on our box and come to the cancel this. Use the move tool, click on our box, come to the opacity here and reduce the opacity. So as we reduce the opacity, let's say to 25, this is how it looks like. This is simply how we created this simple effect of transparency. You can further reduce your opacity even more and you see how it looks like this. So that is how that effect was created. And now we can simply add our text. Direct music cleaning, moving or move out cleaning. So we have I'm going to click on this text, maintain my hand on the Alt key. When I maintain my hand on the Alt key, set this mouse duplicate. I'm going to click on this text and drag it this way and drop it here. So that's how you duplicate the text. You maintain your hand on the Alt key, click on what you want to duplicate, drag it while maintaining your hand on the Alt key, then drop it, then move your hand on the Alt key. So I'm going to use my text tool here. Control E to select everything. I'm going to reduce the size of this to 8. I'm also going to reduce the character here. I should have to put the character. Go on Windows, you have character here. I'm going to reduce the line height to 8 as well. And I'm going to type what I wanted to type. Which was standard cleaning, deep cleaning, and moving move out cleaning. So yeah, standard cleaning. So press enter to go down. Deep cleaning, enter to go down. So now I have moving move out cleaning. Let's see. No, so you see, I'm going to use my text tool here. Click on the text here, then click on this anchor point here and drag it down like this. Select my mouse tool and position this text. Okay, this text here, let's notice something. This text here is below this rectangle. I want the text to be above the rectangle. So I need to go on my layers panel and search for this text. This text is standard cleaning. It says below this rectangle. I have to be above it. I'm simply going to take it here, click and drag it and bring it up and drop it up here. So now it's above my rectangle. So I can now click on the text here and move it without any issue. So I'm trying to position it. So here my rectangle here, I'll click on the maintain shift key and drag this border here a little bit towards the left. Now to create more spacing. We set blank space, white space adds balance, right, to our design. So we want to avoid our design from being too chipped up. That's why I add some white spacing. So I'm going to select both of these and bring them down a little bit in order to align them with this professional here, like this. So I have to add some circles here. For the circles, I'll simply come here to my shades, right click and select ellipse tool. I can zoom in by pressing the Alt key and rolling my mouse forward if you have a mouse. Now I can draw a circle here. Maintain my hand on Shift key to make sure the circle is perfectly circular. Maintain my hand on Shift key. So this is my circle, like this. It's white, I want it to be yellow. So I'll simply click on, go to my properties, click on the field here, and then click on this color here and click on the yellow, any yellow color on my screen, like on any yellow color on my screen, and press OK. The circle will be turned to white. Now let me show you something. Down here you use something recently used color. All the colors you've used recently are found here. So as a shortcut to, let me go back to when it was white. I click on this yellow color here, and I click on the field here, my properties, I can simply come to my recently used colors here and click on it to turn yellow immediately. I click on the move tool here, and that is it. So I want to duplicate this yellow color, right? Because it has to be three of them. So I'm my hand on Alt, come to the color, click on it once and drag it down. I've duplicated. Repeat the process. Maintain my hand on Alt key, click on it once and drag it down. While maintaining that, making sure that they are aligned. Right, I can click on this one and drag it up again a little bit. Put this one down a little bit up. So that is it. I can select all of them by clicking on the first one, maintaining my hand on shift key, on the second, still maintaining my hand on the shift key and clicking on the third. So you can select multiple items by first clicking on the first item. Then when you want to click on the second item, you maintain your hand on the shift key and click on the second item. And you repeat the process to as many items as you want. Or another way is you can come to your layers panel and select this particular items you want to select. These are my ellipses here. I can click on the first one, maintain my hand on shift, click on the second, and then the third. Then all of them are selected. I can now displace them as one. You can also use your movement tools on your keyboard to move objects on your canvas. Your arrow keys, right? The top, bottom, left, and right arrow keys on your keyboard to move items on your canvas pixel by pixel. You're done, you can move to like this. Try to connect it. Okay. Okay, since my machine got disconnected for a little bit, so we're back. So far so good. If everything is clear so far, you can send a reaction in the chat. Send a reaction. It's so far so good, so far so clear, and everything was seen. Or if you have any questions as to how we did anything, you can also ask. Yes, how it looks now. This is the original. So our circle here seems a little bit big. So we're going to try and reduce it. We're going to click and highlight everything from our layers. Click on the first one first, maintain on the shift key, on the second, on the third. Select everything. So we're going to reduce the size a little bit. Zoom in here and reduce the size all of them at once. Click on the anchor point and reduce them like this. So now I can rearrange them. Actually, right now I'm moving them using the arrow keys on my keyboard for more precise movement. is that we have made them smaller. So the next now is this small heading able for services, right? So the text to come up here. I'm going to write services here. Control A to highlight it. Click on the color here and select this yellow color from this our box here and press OK. So now I have service here. I select the move tool. The move tool come and reposition it like this. And we can also increase the size. So this is where we are at the moment, and this is our reach now. So here from here we've done almost everything. What is left now is this circles, these bubbles. So how did we actually do this bubbles? How did we do it?
That's what some of us were waiting for since.
Okay, the wait has ended. So how we're going to do this is we're going to right click here and select ellipse tool and draw a circle. Because I'm having the shift key to make sure the circle is circular. Circle is circular. Now on the properties panel, I'm going to make sure the field is set to white and then the stroke is set to white. Now coming back to this field here, let me come back to the field here. I'm going to set a gradient on the field. Gradient, the first one, this first right here, I'm going to set it to this white which was here. And then this second, I'm also going to set it to white. The second here, the black one, double click on it, come and click on this white box here. You can set it to white. The difference here is when you come and click now on this small black bucket just above this second here, this second one here, and reduces opacity here. Like this. So let's just say 35 like this. So now next we're going to do is we're going to reduce the opacity of this entire circle. Right. So coming here on the opacity and reducing the opacity of the circle to somewhere around 65 like this. You click on this circle here and the stroke here on the circle. We're going to increase the stroke as well. Let's manually set it to 2 pixels. And we're going to draw a second circle above here. And I'm going to let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to set the stroke of this circle to nothing. I'm also going to reduce the opacity of this circle to 75. Let's reduce it a little further. We'll reduce it to 60 or to 65. 65. We're going to slightly increase this when you click on the field. The field, is a gradient, right? It's exactly the same thing as this one. So I think we just create a duplicate of this box, remove the outline of it. And so we're going to come to this color here. The opacity was reduced, right? 45. So we're going to reduce this opacity again even more to 20. We're going to click back on this box here, this stroke. We're going to set it back to 1 pixel. So we're going to now group these two boxes together. I think also we're going to reduce the opacity on this one, on this second field again even more. Okay, reduce it even more. Yes, this looks better. So we're going to highlight all of these. So when we highlight it, you said on the layers pane is also highlighted. I'm going to press Ctrl G in order to group it. Now when you press Ctrl G, it groups everything that was highlighted. Meaning that when you go on this drop down here, you see them, most of them are here. They have been grouped. We spoke about grouping similar items, right? So you can now resize both of them also as one. Like this. And this is how it looks like.
Wow. It was one of the most sophisticated things on the design. I was looking a little bit hard to
This
make
is
it.
it. It looks like a bubble. It's a bubble, doesn't it? Maybe we can remove this outline a bit after. I'm going to remove it completely. Let's open the outline completely. Yes, it looks better like this without the outline. Why is it this is our soap bubble which we have created by using the element which we have known already, which is shapes, gradients, opacity. By controlling our shape, gradient, opacity, we have created a soap bubble like this. So what we're going to do now is very interesting. So what we're going to do. We're going to come on this group item here. We're going to right click on it. I'm going to click this item here. Convert to smart object. So now we've now simply created like a standalone element here in Photoshop. We can resize it. We can resize it. Now we no more have to bother about it being two layers, right? Having to select both layers. Now I've joined them as one in a way that when we resize it, it's not going to lose its quality. It's going to maintain the quality. Let's cancel this a little bit. Control Z, Control Z. Let's go before. Okay, here we removed our. I've gone back a little bit behind to the time when the outline was still there. Let's check something. We removed our outline. But here was it. Here it was. Code. Resize it. Okay, anyways, this is our bubble, right? Which we created. Same as we had on this design. So now the bubbles were placed at many different positions on the design with varying opacity and varying sizes. So I'm just going to try to replicate the same. So for example, if you set this one here, let's begin. Let's see this one, we reduce the other size a little bit, and we're going to reduce the opacity. So on that flyer, we had this effects where there were a lot of bubbles coming out, like something like this. Press Alt key, R key. I showed you how to duplicate already. So now we're just simply duplicating the bubble. Like just simply duplicating it. I'm just simply duplicating the bubble. So now one thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to control the sizes in order to create an effect of depth, right? If I reduce, for example, this one, I'm going to reduce the size and reduce its opacity like this. So now it now seems a little bit further than this one. Are you seeing the effect now? This one looks as if it was behind, while this one is in front. So that's the effect I'm trying to create. So if I reduce the size of this one and reduce the opacity here, it creates a kind of visual effect of depth, of enhancing small details which go a long way on your design. So all of them are not going to have the exact same size, but kind of controlling their sizes and their opacity to create varying effects. Like this one, set it to 89. This one was set to 63. This one was set to 62. This one was set to 100. This one, let's set this to 80. I'm going to set this one to 34. So like this one's a little bit too small again. Increase it a little bit more and increase the opacity a little bit more. So there you have it. So this one I'm just going to show it around a little bit. So add just some more effects. Just like we had on that image. So this one is in front of the image, right? On our layers panel, you can simply drag it and bring it behind the image of the girl. This is it. Where is it? This is it. You can drag it and bring it down. Then the image of the girl and duplicate it to have another one here. You can also duplicate this image, have another one here. You can make it bigger and more transparent as well. So like this, we create our bubbles. So is everything clear so far? So far so good. So I think at this point I've done almost everything. Okay, except this and this one. So that's what we're going to do now. So on this image now, we're going to, okay, see this layers of all these bubbles, right? We're going to group them, all of them as one. I'm going to click on this, the first layer, the images of the bubbles, and scroll up to the last layer of the maintain my hand on shift and click on it. So all the bubbles have been selected, right? Now I'm just going to press Ctrl J to group them, and I can press the lock button to lock them like this. So now I'll not have any problem of displacing this by mistake. So I need to go back to my, I need to go to highlight all this. over here, except the girl. So I'm going to lock the girl's image to avoid highlighting her. So I'm going to highlight this stuff here, highlight it together with the shapes, and press Ctrl G to group them. We talk about grouping similar items, right? On our design. You can also name them, right? You can name them to services, for example, press enter, and here to bubbles. I can also lock this one as well to avoid displacing it. Same thing I can do here, right? I can highlight all of these and press Ctrl G to group them. Then click here and rename it as, let me just say, subtitle. Let me say page subtitle. Press enter. So there you have it. What we are trying to do. Okay, we're trying to create that yellow effect behind the girl. So you can come on the layer which is just beneath her here and go on our sheet and create a shape, a circular shape. We put our hand on sheet to ensure the shape remains perfectly circular like this. I'm going to click on the fill here, click on the color and set it to this yellow here. By clicking on this yellow here, pressing OK, it becomes yellow. So we're going to apply Gaussian blur on this circle by going to the filters, blur, Gaussian blur. Now the smart objects, click on it. So you can increase the ratios like this. I see how the effect was being made. I press OK. So there you have it, the Gaussian blur. I noticed that our circle was drawn beneath the circle of the girl's image, right, of the subject. We're going to draw another circle here. Sheet, maintain a hand on sheet for it to maintain a perfectly circular shape. Set the color to yellow, set the outline to white, like this. You can increase the outlines to 3 pixels, press enter. And now on this layer here, we're going to go to this effects right at the bottom. Click the layer of the circle, go to effects, select drop shadow. So here you can control, you can maintain the blend mode to multiply and the color to dark. You can control the opacity. See, as we increase, it becomes thicker, it becomes lighter. It's a shadow, right? You don't want it to be too thick. You can control the distance, right? You increase distance, increase this. The further distance, the further it is from the circle, right? And reduce it, the closer it is. So you want to mimic a real shadow, how a real shadow is going to look like. This is the spread. You see what the spread does. And reduce the spread to size looks like. And also the size. We increase the size and we decrease the size. So when you decrease the size, it becomes sharper. And we increase the size like you're adding more blur to the background. You can also change the angle. Decrease the opacity a little bit like this. And increase the spread or reduce it. Use the distance a little bit. Increase the size. So set our distance to 10, spread to 14, and size to 15. Press OK. And here, it was a gradient, right? On our training service here, it was a gradient. We're going to do that gradient, the same gradient here. Click on the circle. Select our move tool first. Click on the circle. On the properties panel, click on the field. I'm going to select gradients here. It's the type of gradient to radial gradient. And we're going to switch it two colors. We're going to make the black to the outside and the white to the inside. I click on this icon here. Now the black is out, the white is in. So now I'm going to double click on the white and click on this white here. Press OK. Double click on the black and click on this yellow here. Press OK. So now I'm going to increase. I'm going to come on this icon here above the yellow and push it forward like this. I have to increase the size of the yellow and the black from the white, sorry. So the yellow now occupies more space than white. But this white is too white, so I'm going to click back on our white here. Right. I'm going to drag this icon here to the yellow panel here and drag this slightly so that our white can be slightly yellowish. And press OK. So it is effect like this. I can use a text tool here and click here. Alright, is it from? Press enter. $20 per hour. Control A to select everything. I'll change the color here to, let me move this box this way to blue. Press OK. Reduce the size as well to 6.8 here. Reduce the line height to 6. Click the move tool. Zoom in. I can now zoom in here. Reposition it and rotate it. I can also change alignment to center by highlighting the text and change alignment to center. Select the move tool here and reposition it like this. So I've done almost everything which was there to be done. This one is text, you can add it, and these icons here, you can download these icons on flaticon.com as I mentioned before. And then the last thing was the arrows. This tool, you've never seen this tool, which is a pen tool. Select the pen tool here. I've never seen it. Guys, we're going to see it as we go further. Select the pen tool. I'll come here, click once, then go to second point, click. But this thing, when I click, I will maintain my hand on the left click. Maintain my hand, then drag it for it to have this curve like this. Then I'll come and click back on my move tool here. I'll go to my properties section here. Okay, let's redraw this thing again. Select the pen tool, click the first point, go to the second point, click, maintain your hand on the left click and drag and position it to cause this curvature. I'm going to come up here, click on the field and set it to nothing. Make sure here, this box here is set to shape and not path, as we said to shape. So this I can come back and click on my move tool. I can come back again and select my pen tool here again. Come here and zoom in. Click here. Click here. Click once. Click once. And click once. And there you have it. Our arrow has been created.
Please, erase it and start it back. I'm not seeing.
I'm going to do it again here. Select my pen tool. Come here. Click once. And come to the second point. Click again. But this time on the second time when I click, I maintain my hand on the left click and drag it downwards. Create a curvature. Move my hand from the left click. Come up here. Make sure I've set it to shape. I've set the fill to nothing. And I've set my stroke to a white color. I've set my size of my stroke to 38 pixels and the type of stroke to strong line, right? When I've done this, come and select my move tool here and click. This line has been drawn. Now the arrow. I come now to my pen, click on the pen tool again, come in and zoom in. At the edge here, I click on it once, click again, here once, come here again once, come again once, and come again once. And there you have it. Your arrow has been created. So does this look like this? The font is not the same, but the structure and the layout is the same. I want to move this text downwards a little bit. And I'm going to slightly bend, zoom in and slightly tilt this one like this slightly to about 0.07 degrees, 0.7 degrees, and move this one a little bit up, and this one a little bit up like this. So there you have it. We have applied everything we've learned so far in creating this design. So far, are there any questions?
Why don't you put the icons, the Facebook icons, and the?
You are going to add them. You are going to add the icon. You are going to go on this website called flatsicon.com. Flatsicon.com. And so you're going to set the icon which you want, like for example, Facebook. Facebook. and you see different icons. You can select this one, for example. You can edit the color. To edit the color, you have to create an account. You can come here, edit the color. So to edit the color, you have to create an account. So to you create an account, you can edit the color as well and change it to blue. You can copy the code, right? You can copy the color code from your design, go and paste it to change the color, and you can put it on your design here. And you add the information, the name of the company, their contact information, and maybe their email or website. Okay, so I've reached the end of this call. I'll call end in less than a minute.